The Decepticons in this book are like, they do not care about human life whatsoever. Like, it's so convincing how evil, I guess, they are, and just I don't know, heinous, is that a good word? But I had like a really, it's probably my first, one of my first laugh out loud moments in a while in a comic, like. And this is the scene here where the previous issue, Skywarp was left in bits after a battle with Optimus Prime, like. And what you call it, Starscream turns up and he's asking for help. But it was just this panel here where it's like Skywarp is looking, he's saying, like, Starscream, help me. And he's saying, in time, my friend, in time. But first, where did they go? And Skywarp says, they drove east. He wants to save these slugs. And I don't know, it's just thinking of these giant robots and what they would think of humans, and calling us slugs. It just fucking made me burst out laughing, like. And then Starscream says, pathetic. I'm not and not surprising, like. So it's just, I don't know, I think it's really selling well how much the Decepticons just fucking do not give a shit about human life. And then on the other side, how good the Autobots are, and like just what Optimus Prime goes through in this issue just to save Spike's life. Like, there's so many cool things in this book, and like, as each issue goes by, I'm just loving it more and more. Like, I really loving sitting down. I guess my one small criticism of this issue is there's a lot of pages with like a lot of panels in them, and it just feels a bit like there's a lot of shit just getting rammed in there, like. But then there's some absolutely beautiful panels, and there's a really, really cool scene. What I do love is Daniel Warren Johnson, like, when he does this weapon fire, you can really feel as if like the ballistics, I don't know if they're like lasers or what, but there's like a bend on them, like. And I don't know if you ever see real footage of like tanks or planes like shooting like over great distances. You can actually see that bend, like. And this is the first time I've ever seen it, and it's like done really, really well. But this is the scene, essentially, like, there's a big battle at the hospital where they're trying to save Spike's life, and then like the Spike's friend, I don't know if she's his girlfriend or what, she even turns up with Cliffjumper. Like, she's kind of building a bit of a relationship with Cliffjumper. Really cool the way Cliffjumper just kind of skids in and trips over Starscream. And then you've got this great panel here of Optimus Prime literally drives over Starscream's head and just completely messes up his whole face. Like, there's so much cool stuff. But what I loved here was like, it gets really kind of the stakes are really high in this, like. And like, once the Decepticons turn up, like Soundwave turns up, and some of his little cassette characters that come out of his chest, they're there, and they realize that what the hospital is for, repairing humans, and they just blow it to pieces, like, it's up in flames and stuff, like. And the Decepticons are just laughing about this. They think it's great, like. But this is the scene here, and it seems like there's always a moment to give every single I guess every Autobot and every Decepticon just a cool scene for something where they can kind of shine. And it's where they bring in Jazz. And I always remember Jazz from the cartoons. He just had this really cool voice, like. But you see, the Decepticons have the upper hand here, and like Optimus Prime is like one-armed, and they're just really in trouble. And then these two turn up. Jazz turns up, and the hospital guy, I can't remember his name, like. But just some great panels here of like, like Jazz, like he's speeding along. Then you've got Cliffjumper who's in trouble, and like he's happy. He's like, all right. And look at that skid, like Jazz, and like the spoiler at the back of the car is blurred, and like the Decepticons, they're like opening fire, but they can't hit him. And then this here, like, where he runs in and fires off a shot, and like, I love that kind of, it's the way it's drawn. It's after the recoil of the gun. It looks like he kind of has a cool shotgun, which is a great choice, but like, it's recoiled back, and you can see the blast. And then Starscream looks to get hit in the shoulder, and you can see Soundwave is kind of a bit surprised by that. Then there's a close-up of Soundwave's face as his head is being grabbed, and there's like some kind of like wrestling move where Jazz just like slams him on the ground. Just a cool way to bring Jazz into the story, like. And then you've got a kind of a team shot where the Autobots are kind of a bit kind of G'd up, like, you know, they have their reinforcements, and the Decepticons are on the back foot, like. And then like they do a runner, then they just kind of leg it off, like. But just a really really cool issue, I have to say. And it's kind of like there's almost a feeling of it's almost like a dark version of the Transformers, because there's just a lot of crazy stuff in it. And even the Decepticons, to get parts here, like they pull apart Skywarp to bits, they just tear him apart, like. And you know, he's obviously like screaming for help and stuff. And then you've got the final page, like the last 2 pages, which is really cool. Let me just go here. Essentially, this is Skywarp getting torn to pieces, and each panel keeps jumping to this mountain range, and the way the dialogue works in between it, like you know, Starscream saying, "I'm the Decepticon leader today, tomorrow," you know, with this kind of crazy looking laugh. And then the final page, he's saying forever, but you've got the body of Megatron, and there's like a little red light on in his chest. Like, now he's absolutely in bits. It looks like he's got no arms. But what a great book. Really, really cool comic book. And I think anyone who's reading comics should definitely check this out. Like, it's fantastic.